Okay, yeah, hello. So this
Hello.
time I've got hello, yeah. So we got Becca here. So I have a friend with me for a change, um, instead of some random person who shows up. So this is me doing the tail. So I've got like an overlay here with this green room and sort of slides that I sort of show on top when it gets recorded. So I've got a picture of some bits of tail being cut and a picture of the tail. And as I expected, the tail was the hardest part. Uh, I just about had enough white to fit in, slightly sort of ivory colored white, and that did the whole bottom part of the tail. Oh, yeah, actually, you can see the. You can. I don't know if I can stand up and you can see a bit of the. Can I? Can you grab my tail? Yeah. You can. Okay. Well, all right.
No.
So no, you can, all right. We'll work that out in a moment. Right. But it, the white on the bottom of the tail was like made out of about 5 or 6 pieces. That worked out okay. And then I started trying to assemble it all on the floor, and I had this idea of a sort of skeleton made up of. Oh, there you go. You can stay here. Come on, stay in. A skeleton made up of plates, and there were people would do this sort of thing by using a piece of fabric and then gluing on um, uh, plates of foam with a little gap, and then you'd have something that would like fold in segments. And so I discovered that I could just do that by welding together pieces of TPU. And there's the TPU being welded together. I mean, these plates were very long and tall. I think I made quite a mistake because I made the gaps between the plates run on the tail run vertically, as I hoped that the tail would like be able to fold left and right instead of like swinging, flopping if it was like cut in the obvious direction. But it would have worked if this stuff wasn't quite so soft and floppy. I think I got a picture show. Yeah. Also in the tail, you've got all these crazy, if you can see on it, you've got these crazy sticky out bits of triangles that sort of are the low poly idea of fluff, but because I'm trying to make it the same as the avatar, I'm putting them in. So these large pieces of TPU are being pushed into the cut fur to make the to make these forms, which we'll see a bit later on. So it's kind of a surprising feature. This is doing the little final segment piece. I decided to mill some foam out of this as well. I was trying to demo some people how to mill foam, but they didn't seem to be interested. But I did it anyway. Here's the tail segments as is with the spines built on. The spines are going to be attached to it. Like I say, I don't think I got the design right, but we'll just have to go with what it was. The idea was this was going to go inside the fur, and then I'd pack loads of stuffing on either side, and that would kind of keep it upright. But things go a little bit wonky anyway. There's a bit more welding of the tail pieces together. This is the final fur as sewn. Meters and meters of hand sewing on all the little segments, and then those chunks of TPU that are poking out. Uh, you think you could just hot glue them in, but that doesn't hold it so well. So what you do is you sort of glue them in a little bit, and then you sew a piece of fabric across the back side from one side to the other to pull the two sides in, and then those pieces are kind of trapped and can't escape. There's pulling the skeleton into the thing, and that's sort of showing how I've got a little video of showing how soft the um, the TPU is and why it kind of collapsed when I originally started putting it together. So quick retrofit happened. I went back to the hackerspace. There's the little plate that was supposed to just go on a belt around my waist and hold it on, and then everything would just be held on together. But the whole that TPU was so soft in the on the first segments that it just folded over in all the wrong places. So I had to very quickly cable tie some pieces of what is this? What's the thing? The tent thing is
Tent
fiberglass pole.
poles.
Yeah, fiberglass tent poles. I had to do fiberglass tent poles across the worst of the folds and cable tie them in to just make sure it didn't fall apart straight away. But even so, it's not good. Um, and then yeah, this was you were the first one to try the whole thing on. I've got a picture of you in the living room trying to put it together. And here's the thing: is it wound up being a bit baggy and not very satisfying. I discovered. So later on I was trying again because this tail was a real nightmare. Goes all over the place, and there's nowhere to put it when you're trying to get it on, and you'll never be able to sit down. So I put it on and sort of pranced around the garden a little bit. It didn't look that good though. Whoop, oh, hold on. So yeah, it didn't wind up looking that good. But I kind of, here it is. A little picture of the tail, a bit sort of misshapen, not properly stuffed yet. There we are. Everything's sort of like dangling down and saggy. Yeah, the Godot logo not looking very happy either. Yeah, but we're out in the sunshine, and the back's all kind of knobbly. Now, I discovered, let's see, so we'll just quickly, because I've very quickly got a bit of is it that one? Yeah, a bit of Blender is showing Blender with the cross section of my body and the suit. And what I discovered was there's also quite a gap in the front of the belly. Yeah, so the main issue is that I've made the skin of the, instead of the normal way we make a fursuit where you sort of make a duct tape dummy, you add padding, and then you make the fur pattern on top of that so things fit where you expect them to. I basically cut the fur to fit the shape of this avatar, and my body would be somewhere in the middle, and then the whole thing sagged down when you put it on. And what I've discovered is let's see, where I decided, so this is without padding, and then I added a whoops, hold on, where to go? Yeah, that one there. Oh, yeah, I added a nice big cushion down the belly, and suddenly it started bringing everything out right. The arms are still kind of saggy, and the waist isn't so good. But what I then did was put on a sort of a big heavy jumper on top, and suddenly that made everything. Does that look nice? Yeah, suddenly that made everything fit nicely because it pulled the shoulders up, which then pulled the whole waist up, and the whole waist went nice. And can you see the shape here? If we do that, no, that way, no. So I kind of like forward to back. I'm quite fat, but this way, this way it's sort of kind of narrow. Where's that camera gone? There. This way it's kind of narrow. And the shape suddenly comes out right. And the Godot logo doesn't look terrible. I was also then, because that's cheered me up a bit, I then spent a bit of time trimming the triangles on the tail to make the fur line up really nicely. So that's going to look pretty striking as well. So that's about it. What was I going to do next? Was I was going to, hold on, not that. Yeah, electromagnetic field. Come on, come here. You still there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so you're going away, and
But I'm going to see you in Austria.
yeah. So you're going first. So firstly, I'm going to go to electromagnetic field. That's how far have we got? Oh, you got only 8 minutes in. Electromagnetic field, which is hacker camp. I tried to propose a talk about all this furry VR chat stuff at one of their events in their schedule, but they rejected it. So we'll see if I get a chance to talk about it anyway. But what I am going to do is I'm going to do a fursuit walk across the length of this campsite. It's a very big field, and we'll see how that goes. And but yeah, I've discovered you just put more and more padding in it, and you get a bigger and bigger fursuit, but it starts to make the right kind of curves and shapes and is much more pleasing. And then after that, I'm going to go to, hopefully we've got some pictures of that. And then I'm going to go to Austria over in Vienna to see my first ever furry con. And hopefully I can take all this in the suitcase. That will be a video in itself. Actually, I should have taken this apart and taken a photo of that, shouldn't I? I hope it all fits in. I've got this sort of suction pump to suck all the air out of the fluff and stuff, but you have to like take everything apart to fit it in. But I guess that's about it then. Yeah, say goodbye. Yeah, okay, you can say goodbye. The camera's over there. All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye.